Oh my God, that intro was horrible. I did it in about 10 minutes, about an hour ago. I got to do a way better intro, but I'll get to it when I have time. So during the winter, the escape room business, the mobile escape room business, is not that busy for two reasons. One, the weather, of course, and the other reason we turn down opportunities because I do not like the cold. But if it is a sizable opportunity, we will do it. Like we're doing the Chambersburg Ice Fest here in a couple weeks, which was great last year. So we'll be there for 3 days. Springtime, we'll pick it back up, going to all the campgrounds and birthday parties and all the fun stuff. Last summer, the beginning of last summer, we made a mistake by trying to do a permanent location. Did not work. Live and learn, move on. So I'm just going to go over some of the items we sold in the last month or so. Tell you what some of the problems we found, the good things, and things of that nature. This item right here is Wedgwood Gold Dragon China. I know nothing about China, but she does apparently. We bought these three pieces for 15 bucks at a thrift shop. I don't remember where. It wasn't a Goodwill or anything like that. We sold it for $79.95, including shipping. So how that breaks down for us is, if you go look at the order details, and we sold a lot of small stuff. I'm not going to go over any of that stuff. So the order details after shipping, taxes, their transaction fee, which eBay I think is 12-13% or something like that. It comes down to 54.26 profit, but then you got to take $15 off that, so it comes to what, 39.26 if I can count right. And that's what you brought home. 40 bucks on a piece of china is good if you're out running around. If you get 4 or 5 of those a day, you're making mint. I see people making a living off getting 10, 12, $10 profits a day. So you can make money doing this if you know what you're looking for, which we do not yet. So you got to have one niche line that you got people, you got followers are coming back to buy your stuff. Then you got to have stuff going that you have all over the place. Right now, our inventory is just all over the place. We have no fixed item where we're really good at, where orders just pump in. We're just not there yet, but we're learning. So that's the first item. And then we found out as well when you're shipping, I thought weight would be the issue when you're shipping, but weight has nothing to do with it. It has something to do with it, but not much. The size of the box. You could have a 2-pound box. If that box goes over a certain height and width and all that, the price just jumps like out of this world. I mean, it was shocking the difference between an inch could do for your profit margin. So that's the first thing. China, if you're going through thrift stores, Wedgwood, there's a couple others I'll go over. Right now, I can't think of the other ones we bought and sold, but Wedgwood is a very popular one. We put this up, and about 2 weeks later, it sold. So now we're always looking for Wedgwood China. So let me show you the next one. All right, item number 2, the Bigfoot tractor trailer. If you guys remember Bigfoot, was it the late 70s, 80s, early 90s? I can't remember. But Bigfoot was big back in my younger days. And what we have here, this one just shipped a couple days ago. We bought this for $7. I think probably, I'm thinking late November, some early December sometime, somewhere around there. So you have a Bigfoot truck here. It's pretty scratched up, but it still works, makes sounds, as I'll show you right here. Watch this baby rock. Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 All right, enough of that. You know, guys like that stuff. They like their trucks, and when it makes noise, it's even better for these guys. So, see that picture? This is a good picture right here. The scuff marks on there. Still bought it. So, $69.95. We actually had $8.95 shipping in there as well. And if you break that down by the order details, I'll scroll down here again. Minus taxes, transaction fee, and shipping label, we made 54.59. What did I say? 7 or 8? I can't remember. Take $7 from that. That's $49.59. Oh no, that's not what is it? What is it? Oh my gosh, $47.59. Somewhere around there. Okay, but again, you get your shipping costs, your taxes, and all that stuff back. So take $7 from that 54, and that's what we made. That's a good one. I would take that every day of the week if I could get that, but we're not there yet. But that was a good one. I do know toys. And what I learned is if you're doing eBay reselling, eBay's pretty good is when you put a certain keyword in there in your title or your description, people have an alert that if you put that, like let's say the GI Joe truck or whatever, the Bigfoot truck. I put a keyword Bigfoot, blah blah blah. People just come to it right away. Then you'll get a lot of offers from resellers that are looking for stuff to resell. They'll lowball you. They'll send you the craziest offers ever, hoping you'll bite. So they'll buy it, just resell it themselves. That happens all the time. My rule of thumb: if you got 4 or 5 people watching it, you start getting these lowball offers. Don't bother. If that many people are watching, somebody's going to buy it. But that was pretty good. I like that one. All right, on to the next one. Item number 3. What we have here is a portable CD player from what? Somewhere back in somewhere. It's an old one. I was trying out my logic, what I was reading about. I told you before about parts or electronics that do not work. This is $5. I picked it up, took it home, put some batteries in there to see if it would work. It didn't work, but I listed it anyways. So we sold it for $29.95, an item that doesn't work. And I'll show you the pictures here. I mean, this is old. I'm like, who wants this stuff? And what I found is, I asked a guy one time, he was trying to buy one of my items that was pretty old. Actually, I'll tell you that story when I get to that item. I'll do that next. But so these are the pictures of it. I cleaned it up a little bit in the sink, sold it for $29.95. It wasn't up there too long, maybe 3 weeks. And how that broke down for us with the $5 cost already. Where you go, baby? Order details. All right. Bottom line is we made $17.78 minus the $5. I could add this time, which is $12.78 profit. Again, you're selling, a bunch of orders every day, making 10, 12 bucks. That's a good living there. You make quite a bit of money on the side there. And for me, I live in a small town, so the post office is on my way to get out of my town. So I'm not driving out of the way to get to the post office or anything. The post office is there. Across the street is the FedEx, UPS place. So I'm not going out of my way, spending extra gas to drop anything off, which is very nice. So again, the $12, $10 orders, those orders will add up after a while. Trust me. And every once in a while, you're going to hit a big one. So on to the next one. Don't say. Item number 3. This is my own personal camcorder. It's about 20 years old, and I forgot I had it until we cleaned out the basement. And I checked it; was still working okay. It had a little spots there I wasn't sure about. I'm like, okay, let's put this on eBay. And this thing explode. I mean, right? I don't know how long it takes once you load something up or list something. How long it takes to get through the system. But this thing, within a half hour, I had everybody and their mother coming after me. So if you look here, I listed this about 10 o'clock at night. Right here, I had 228 views, and I sold it. I sold it the next morning. That's a lot of people for one item, or at least from my experience. And I sold it for 129. This is the pictures. You had the power supply, and that's pretty much no case or anything like that. And we haven't used this thing. I mean, years upon years. I forgot to add it, so we're cleaning out the basement. And I fired it up. It's still powered up and all that good stuff. So 129 is shipping included. And one of the guys that was asking me questions about this, I actually went back to him. I said, "Why do you want a 20-year-old camcorder? I'm thinking your phone could take a better picture than this camcorder." And he replied back, "I never thought of this." He goes, "Well, we make movies, from that time period. We want it to look like that time period." I was like, "Oh crap, that makes complete sense." Now I understand why people are buying these older electronics and maybe fix them up doing things. Maybe they're some kind of filmmaker or what have you. But that was pretty interesting. So break this down by the order details. I'll do one more. I have 2 more after this. I want to bore everybody, but I'm just trying to go through what we're seeing and what we're buying. So with that was since we put no money into it, so the $104.43 was profit. I gave my shipping, transactions, and all that kind of stuff. Again, you get your shipping and everything back minus the transaction fee when they pay you on that item. And I'm sure I could have got a lot more for this, but I thought what was fair. I just put it up there for 129, and it was gone the next morning. All right, 2 more, and then I'll stop boring you. All right, next item. All right, Treasure X lot figures. I have no idea what Treasure X is. Right before that, I bought a bag. I know Mario from my kids when they were younger, playing Mario and all that, Mario Karts and all that. And I saw this bag of Mario Kart racers. There's like 10 or 12 kart racers in this bag. And that sold pretty quickly. I paid $6.49 for the bag. You know the bags, when you go to Goodwill, you'll see them on the wall. They have bags of toys. And usually the bags are full of the same toys or they're part of the same set or what have you is what I'm learning. So I Google Lens this and I saw, well, this is kind of something. I don't know what Treasure X is. So I paid $6.49 for this bag. And again, here's some of the pictures. These little toys are scary. Oh my goodness. I would think kids would have nightmares playing with these things. I don't even know what this is or what game this is, but there's a lot of Treasure X stuff out there. So with that said, it's over $27.95. And how that breaks down, order details. So after everything's said and done, profit was $17.16 minus a $6.49. I'm not even gonna try to figure that out. $10, whatever, 10 something or whatever. I'll take that too. You know, minus the shipping and all that. So about $10 on a $7 or $6.49 bag, we made $10 profit. So those bags do have some nice goodies in there if you know what you're looking for. So you have kids that are pretty experienced in vintage toys and things like that, I would just take them with you to the Goodwill and check out these bags. Because when you go to the Goodwill, you can see everybody with their little phone out doing a Google Lens and a lot of people going through the bags and things like that. I mean, I learned there's lots of people doing this for a living. Lots of people. Every time we go to a Goodwill, not so much the smaller thrift stores, there's people out there rummaging through the clothes with the Google Lens. I mean, everything in there. So that's it. $10 for the toys. On to the next one. Okay, this one blows my mind. So I was watching a couple of eBay videos of people, what they're selling, all that kind of stuff. And I saw this guy say, you got to pick up remotes, sell remotes, sell remotes. Like, what? I know a remote, it's going to cost you $4 to $5 to ship in a bubble envelope, right? And if you go buy them, and I looked at the thrift store, Goodwill, if you're going for like $2 or $3, you got to pay for them in the first place. You're not going to make any money. So I don't know what this guy's talking about. So I had an old remote. We have remotes all over the house. I don't even know where they go to. This one had to be old. It's been years since we had a Sharp TV. So I don't even know why we still have this. She sometimes, I would call her like a borderline hoarder. So I listed this for $10.99. I was looking at the prices of remotes on eBay. And they were going for $7, $8, whatever, bucks, $10. And I know, again, $4 to $5 to ship. If you got to buy one from a thrift store, you're not making no money. So I have no idea what this guy is talking about. I could be wrong, but I had an old remote. I thought, what the heck? Let's list it up there. It's probably, we started this in October, so probably in October I listed this remote. And about 2 months later, I mean, about a month and a half later, it's sold. I'm like, who the heck is buying a Sharp remote? I'm thinking, don't they sell the universal remotes all over the place? You can buy one at Walmart for $10, $15. I don't know. I'm finding out you could put things on eBay that you think that nobody wants, but somebody does want it. But we listed it, so it was $10.99. I got 2 pictures here, just the back and front. Stuck it in a bubble envelope. This is my profit on this remote. I did not have to buy one. This is my old remote. So go back to the order details. Again, go down here. After everything's said and done, I made $4.87 profit off this remote that was sitting in my house for God knows how many years. Now, if you go buy a remote at a Goodwill, you're going to spend money to buy one. You know, the average cost I saw on a remote was $2 to $3. You're not going to make any money. You know, if you have them around just to make a couple bucks, throw them with the other orders, I think that's fine. But I'm not going to make my living just on selling remotes. This guy was trying to tell people, sell remotes. Make sure you don't have remotes. This is the only thing you sell. But I found it amazing that somebody actually bought this remote. Oh my goodness. All right, one more, then I'm done.
All right, last one for this boring video. They'll get better as we go. This is just a quick one. Trying to get back. I used to do a lot of videos back in the day, and I just stopped. So I'm still relearning how to use my software. So this item right here, and I'm telling everybody, this is a cobalt blue bowl. It's a Chinese bowl. And I'm going to go over the pictures here because you see these things. I've ran into them four or five times already in thrift shops. And I'm going to explain it all to you. That's another video. So I bought this bowl. I bought it for $4 up in Gettysburg at a thrift shop. So it has it's just cobalt blue. And I didn't fully understand what I was looking at. I kind of started getting into the Chinese porcelain. So you go through here, you'll find porcelain, the cobalt blue stuff. This is a Chinese marking. And I explained that in an earlier video that I haven't done for the Facebook crowd yet. This is my first video for my Facebook crowd. But it tells you, the king, what king it was, the date it was made, and what's the name of the king that was the emperor of that time. This one particular one is not real, but that's not the point. When you find something like this, hang on to it. If you're going to spend $4 or $5 for it, it's well worth it, especially the cobalt blue. I'll show you one more after this. These guys, so I've got it. There's a couple things you can do with these things. You can send it to Southby, or however you pronounce that, which I've done 4 times already, for free. Takes them about 3 weeks to get back to you. And right now, everyone says, hey, we can't help you right now, blah, blah, blah. But you got to think, these big auction houses got so much stuff being thrown at them. You have no idea if they're really looking at your product or not, right? Especially if you're just some schmo popping up some pictures, right, through their little process there. They're probably looking for their repeat guys or whatever. Who knows? There's another guy in the United States that specializes in Chinese porcelain or Chinese anything. His name's Peter Combs. He has a social media presence. He does have a YouTube channel. Just type in Peter Combs. He'll go over all the auction houses and what they're selling, what it is, what they do. You can go on his website, which is somewhere listed under his YouTube channel, which I've done twice already. You can send him the pictures, go through his process. He charges you $15. What he does is he actually sends you a Rumble video with your product, talking to you through the video, explaining what he sees, what it is, fake, real, kind of giving you a little education of what it is and what it's not, which is well worth the $15 if you're stumbling upon this stuff. I've seen tons of people. Auction has videos where people stumble upon this Chinese porcelain, which there are Chinese porcelain you can find that does not have the markings. I'm not that skilled to pick that stuff out yet. I mainly look for the markings. So in this particular bowl, this is the first one we found. Again, $4. I said, what the heck? I'll put it on eBay. And the first time I put it up for just $19. Think I can make about $5 back or something like that. Some guy from China ordered it. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't ship international. So I canceled that order. But somehow in the meantime, a couple people saw the bowl while it was up. So I got messages from these 2 people saying, this one guy said, if you relist it, I'll pay you $150 for that bowl. $150. I said, oh, okay, no problem. And I asked him why. I said, hey, you read my description. It's not real, right? And again, it might be real. I don't know. He said, I know. I don't care. He's a college professor, and he teaches some kind of class about Chinese. I don't know what the specifics, but he wanted it for his classroom. So I relisted it so he could only find it. He paid $150 for this $4 bowl, which I find very interesting. So if you find this cobalt blue with dragons, Chinese porcelain has the dragons, of course, then usually the Chinese porcelain, for the most part, it tells a story. You might find with familiar rose and things like that. I'll show you a picture of one right after this so you guys kind of understand. But again, you can go to a thrift store and find tons of Japanese porcelain, not worth squat right now. I don't know why. You can find it anywhere you look. But the stuff with these markings on the bottom, red or blue or what have you, 6 gives you the whole story of what the emperor was, the date, everything like that. You'll find markings that are only 4. You'll find red markings. You'll find the red stamp marking, which I'll show you right now. But if you're out there thrifting through Goodwill or a thrift shop, you see anything cobalt blue looks kind of weird, and you turn it over and it has markings like this, pick it up. It's a 1 in a million shot, but maybe you could get rich off one piece of porcelain. I mean, let me show you the next one. Again, let me show you the breakdown here on my order of what we made here. What we made off this bowl for $4. Order details. So $118.71 minus everything. Take the $4 out of there. $114.71. Not bad for just being in the area, shopping at Walmart, stopping at the thrift store in Gettysburg. Not bad at all. Again, this guy paid for this bowl because of the markings for his class. So don't take for granted when you find this weird looking porcelain you think looks ugly, because it's not ugly to a lot of people. All right, I'll show you one more that's on the other side of the Chinese porcelain. All right, the last one, adding on to the cobalt blue Chinese bowl there. This one I just recently listed, so I actually just got a light box. So I sent this to Southpeas, got the no-go, and I sent it to Peter Combs. I have not heard back from him yet. It was over the holidays. I do have 2 people watching it, and I paid this one. I paid $20 for it. I'm never going to pay. Our spending when we buy stuff, I keep it under $10 when we buy stuff. I mean, the item per item. We bought one for 15, but I stay away from that unless I know for sure I'm going to sell it. So again, this is a bowl, and I'll show you the marking on it, similar to the other one. So this has a dragon in the middle of the bowl, and you got the familiar rose, the iron red there, and all kinds of stuff. You're going to find bowls like this, similar. Again, do not leave them there. If they're cheap, a couple bucks, pick it up. Again, a 1 in a million shot. Even some people pick these things up for $4. They still sell it for $400 or $500 somewhere. And a lot of these guys from China, if they see something that looks pretty good, they're going to scarf it up because they're going to try to resell it as real. Again, maybe it might be real, but they're going to try to resell it as real. So getting to this particular marking you're going to run into, besides the one I showed you previously, there's a dragon in the middle. And again, Chinese porcelain will tell a story, and you'll see characters on there, women, and have kids on there, and things like that with all these bright colors and things like that. This is, here you go. So this is what you call a stamped mark. And well, I did send this to Peter Combs. I'm sorry. He said it was worth $50, and I paid $20 for it. He said I could probably get 50 for it. So this is a red stamp mark. And what I learned from Peter was this is from the Qing dynasty. The bowl I showed you before was from the Ming dynasty. So the markings tell you it's the Qing dynasty, and the emperor at that time was King Long, if I'm pronouncing that right. But when you get something like this, you rub your finger over that marking, right? When they do the markings and they do the burn or whatever they do in the oven and all that kind of stuff, they stamp the marking, glaze will go over it, right? So when I run my finger across this marking, I should not feel it. It just feels glaze for the most part. When I ran my finger over this after Peter Combs told me this, I could feel the raised stamp, which means it was stamped afterwards. So, but again, if you run into these red stamps too with these Chinese markings, you go on the internet and type in Ming Dynasty markings or King, and you'll find websites that go over every marking from the 1400s. Again, so don't let these stay there. If you see them, pick them up, $5 or whatever it is, take them home and say, hey, I'm going to make $1 million. Because for about a 2-3 week period there, every time I find one of these, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to be rich. And then I get the email or the video from Peter. I'm like, But again, don't pass these up, all right? All right, that's it. And next video will be us at the thrift store looking at stuff. And maybe you'll look at us and see something that we passed up and let us know. Peace out.